Thank you to the sponsor of this video, Aeroseal. I want to talk about a common issue we see every winter, and that is furnaces failing. In today's video, I want to cover some of the common reasons that furnaces fail, things that you can look out for if you own a furnace, and also things as you're dealing with a contractor who's recommending repairs to be done or even possibly replacement, things for you to watch out for. Let's dive into it right away, but before I do, hit that like button for me so you can help others see our content. Number one of the most common problems I see with furnace failures is the size of the ductwork connected to that furnace. In fact, I would go so far to say that the majority of furnaces in our country have ductwork that is undersized. And as we move into a realm where most people are switching to today's technologies, where the furnace was a PSC motor for years and years and years, and now we're reusing ductwork and now installing a furnace with a variable speed motor or possibly a constant torque and ECM motor, regardless of what kind of motor it is, PSC motors by default would slow down and continue to operate when the ductwork is undersized and it has high static pressures. But today's furnaces with variable speed motors, because of the way the technology works, it will actually be louder than that old furnace. The airflow through there, because simply the ductwork is undersized. It's such a problem that I think if you have a furnace that needs replacement, I almost think that every single replacement, the contractor installing that system needs to treat the entire system like it's brand new. They need to view the ductwork, make sure it's sized properly, make sure they're checking static pressures, and making sure that undersized ductwork doesn't continue to hinder the operation of that furnace. Now you may say, what's the big deal? It's just, it's a little undersized. It might make it work harder, but will it actually make the furnace fail? And the answer to that is simply yes. Of course, it's harder on the fan motor trying to push more air through a smaller duct, but it's also harder on things like the heat exchanger and other components that have to do with the combustion burning of gas in that system. Less airflow across those components can mean things get hotter than they're supposed to, than they were designed for, and again, cause more failures. Number two, things that lead to furnace failures, I already kind of touched on it, and that is when things are not set correctly, such as the gas pressures. I can't tell you in my years when I was helping other contractors how often I would see them not even own things like a manometer. So of course they're not testing the static pressure on the ductwork because they don't own a manometer, but they're also not setting gas pressures correctly on that furnace. Gas pressures being set too high can cause to premature failure, cracking of the heat exchanger, or even worse. And gas pressures set too low can cause other issues such as soot buildup, longer run times, and so on. Having the gas pressure set correctly with not just the amount of airflow that needs to go through that furnace because your ductwork is going to be sized correctly, but also having the gas pressure set correctly. Now that everything is dialed in, it's going to operate like it's supposed to. It's going to operate as efficiently as it's supposed to. Before I get to number three, another thing that could help with furnace failures is the sponsor of this video.
Every HVAC contractor wants one thing: guarantee performance for the customer. The truth is, no matter how good that install looks, if it's connected to leaky ductwork, chances are it is, it's not going to perform the way that you promised. 20% duct leakage on an 18-SEER system makes it perform like a 12-SEER. That's where Aeroseal comes in. It's the only proven way to seal ducts from the inside that you could never reach by hand. When you use Aeroseal, you can guarantee airflow, system efficiency, and comfort on every job. That means fewer callbacks, happier customers, and a better reputation for quality. If you're serious about standing behind your installs, service, and solutions, Aeroseal is the only way. Let's talk.
Number three, one of the most common issues I see with furnaces. In fact, I can't tell you how many times this one issue caused a plethora of other problems, including misdiagnosis by underskilled technicians, and that is furnaces that have a grounding issue, furnaces that are not grounded properly. And in case you didn't know, furnaces should be on a designated circuit all the way back to the panel. Things should be wired correctly. Everything should be tightened up. And you might say, well, Josh, that's common sense. I literally just did a job last year where I went behind another guy and I started just simply pulling on things, pulling on wires to make sure everything was good and tight, and things were just falling apart, falling out of the bus bar where the wires were landed and so on, falling out of spade connectors that had been crimped on there, piss poor. And I said to the guy, hey, this is not good. This can create heat. This can be problems for this system and grounding issues like we were just talking about. And his response to me was, well, it's working. It was working when I left. Well, yeah, I know it's working, but it's not right. Like, have some standards, be proud of the work you do. It's just unbelievable to me how much I don't see that. Grounding issues can cause issues with the actual operation of the furnace. It can also cause things like circuit boards to not operate correctly, if at all, and other low voltage components to appear to be failing when in reality, we're just simply having a grounding issue. I've seen repairs done where just simply grounding that furnace better all of a sudden resurrects the system and it operates like it's brand new after fixing that grounding issue. And that plays well right into number 4, and that is electrical problems that are correlated to poor installation. Poor installation practices like the ones I mentioned before, where things are not installed tight, correctly, and with purpose, can cause problems not just with the grounding, but also other issues such as low voltage shorts, problems with some of the low voltage components, switches not opening and closing like they're supposed to. I can honestly tell you that multiple times in my career, going behind other companies that beat us out, gave the customer a lower price, and us simply giving the customer a price to reinstall a brand new piece of equipment, basically just completely tear it apart and reinstall it correctly, fixed a lot of these issues. And I'll even go one step further to say that I bet the majority of problems that heating and air systems have today go right back to the installation itself, the birth of that system, the way it was installed, poor practices, and it all leads to, whether it's day one or 10 years later, causing a failure simply because of how it was installed on day one. Number 5 is a simple one, and it's maintenance. I think you should have that system maintained. I think you should at times have a qualified technician lay hands on that system, make sure some of those electrical components are what they should be, and also doing other things such as a combustion analysis can tell you a lot about that system and how efficient it's running, but also whether or not there's a safety issue or not. Simple things like cleaning the flame sensor periodically, testing other components, making sure that drains are clear and flues are cleared, and just making sure that system is new as possible again, and actually doing some maintenance to that system, not just some checkup, a kick in the tires thing, but actually making that system as new as possible will make that furnace last for years instead of having those premature failures. Before I wrap up, just some other things to note. We noted the drains and the flue vents, making sure that those things are maintained but also installed correctly, making sure that the drain continues to have fall. I've seen simple things such as a strap coming loose and now we've got a droop in the flue pipe or the drain. And of course, the big one, making sure that air filters are replaced or cleaned periodically. Now, let me ask you, have you had a failure with a furnace before? I'd love to hear about that down in the comments section. What did you have to have repaired to make that system work again? If you like this video, I think you'll like this one too. It's where I talk about a calculator that you can use to find out how much you're going to save when replacing your heating and air system. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next time.